Good morning, everyone on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, everywhere that StreamYard is taking me right now. So, I was thinking about the topic to talk about for a few minutes today, and one thing that's kind of top of mind for me right now is that there's this disconnection, or at least the disconnect is becoming a lot more obvious. So when you look at what's happening in the world right now, and we have been quite disconnected. And I look at the challenge that the world's going through right now too, and it's funny, it used to be wars between nations, then it was kind of like the East and the West, and a lot of that tension still exists, but the wars have moved. I was talking with a good friend yesterday to a different platform, and the wars have become digital. And we are experiencing, I guess you could say, if you want to go out there, World War IV in a way right now, digitally. When you look at what's been happening with regards to mainstream media, the platforms, but at the same time, we've got to a stage where, as I said, it was between nations, East-West, then it became a religious thing, especially after 9/11, and now it seems to have gone beyond religion into the digital realm, into the matrix, because we are all connecting through the matrix right now, in a digital sense, not exactly in a heartfelt sense, in a fear-felt sense, perhaps. And so you wonder how we can bring this all together. And I think, it's when people have a wake-up call in their life that they stop and they think and they go into a inner journey. And I got a feeling this is happening on mass scale across the planet right now, and that we've been so disconnected. And if we remain disconnected, I don't want to think where that can take us, because I don't think it's a happy place. And so we're at a juncture right now. There's so much pressure on so many systems, and there are all the discussions and the narratives around the very few that have very much, and perhaps a fear that they have of losing control right now. And how do you get control, and how does that connect to the world challenge we've got at the moment with what's currently a virus or a thing, some sort of alien being thing, right? That's affecting all of us. As humanity, I think we have a choice to make on whether we're going to connect or disconnect even further. There's a fork in the road right now. And I don't think you have to be a rocket scientist or a Tesla or an Einstein to work out that the answer is in connecting. It's simple. And you can take it to the level of quantum physics, and where Tesla and Einstein played, not Newtonian physics, which was only limited to the three-dimensional structures of the world. And when you start to understand that we're all actually different forms of energy, some of it at a low, and as a human being, matter is at a low frequency. And that we are actually connected, and we aren't using that in anywhere near as effectively as we can. I was on the Corporate Alchemist project yesterday with my colleague Adrian Hanks, and we're talking about the same thing. Be it the corporate world, be it your performance in anything, performance in life, let's just call it that, then you're leaving a lot on the table if you're not tapping into all these extra things that we have now. I know we are all so glued to the devices, the TV, the mainstream media, and all this sort of stuff. So distracted. So in a panic, many will deny that. Say, I'm feeling great. Yeah, you might be feeling excited, but I can bet, unless you're a monk that spent a lot of time inside themselves, what's exciting you is a lot of external stuff. And for most of it, it's money, and we're hooked on money. We were made to get hooked on the fact that there wasn't enough. And that's all driven by fear. And so we're locked into that emptiness, distraction, whatever your thing is, whether it's booze, food, money, all those things that are distractions, all those things that we're programmed and conditioned to think that we actually need for survival in the biggest time of excess ever. I mean, obesity is at excess. We don't have enough. Something's not right. And I think the answer is in reconnecting, but it's not just with each other. It starts with yourself first. And so getting connected to the impulses coming from your center, from the heart, if you will, is where the answer is. And I'm not sitting here preaching like I'm some expert, but I have learned this. And the challenge in the journey then becomes, how do you start to make that transition to that new place? And so that's been my journey. And I think it's the journey of all of those, become conscious and aware of it. And then having the world internally and then the external world realigns to what's true to you without all the distractions. So I'm going to leave this one, is perhaps if you get a moment to ponder, take a few breaths to slow down the heart rate, the brain, and take a few minutes out. That's what I do with meditation each day. So just reconnect and become still and become present, because there's so much that is going on right now. If it wasn't before, something came along, I think, to expose and get us refocused on other stuff. It's scary, but now we're pushed to a point where we have to start making decisions.